Hello and welcome to Business 101. In this presentation, we will show you a quick way to start your business so you can have everything organized right from the start. On our agenda today, the following: selecting and checking your business name. That will be one of the most important things you should do. Selecting the business location, deciding on sole proprietorship versus corporation, registering for government tax accounts like HST, Payroll, WSIB, protecting your intellectual property like logo, business name, product name, or anything of that nature, and taking your business online. Now let's get started. Business and domain names. Your business name is pretty much the most important thing when you're starting a business. This is how people will recognize you. Please make sure that you make the business name distinctive, because that's what builds your business image. This is how you will build your brand. Business names draw potential customers. They help clients to identify with your company. Make it meaningful and easy to remember. A lot of long names may be good, but the shorter the name is, the easier it is to use for public relations and marketing purposes. Now, choose your name well and protect your name. Always check that the name is available by performing a name search. Don't make this mistake. You'll come up with a name, you go ahead, you spend the money, you register it, and then 3 months later, someone else's lawyer sends you a demand letter saying, you must stop using this name because it's protected or used by someone else. Always check the name. It's very simple to do. For $15, you can run 3 searches on our site. In an hour, you'll know what's happening with your business name. Now, always think ahead. Get your website domain name as soon as you can, because as soon as you have a great name, you must ensure that you can also use it on the internet. E-commerce, website, blog, whatever you want to use for your business, the website domain name would be your second priority. And again, you can also request that with a few quick clicks on our website. Certain words are not allowed in the business name. There are many reasons, some of them just restricted, some of them are not allowed because of confusion, and here's the typical list. Now, anything that's obscene or objectionable is not allowed. Anything that implies a different business structure. So for example, if you're a sole proprietor, you cannot say ABC Services Incorporated or Limited, because that means that you're incorporated, and that's not allowed. Any relationship with a college, university, or institute is not allowed unless you have authorization from the Ministry of Education. If your company is limited, corporation, or incorporated, you must state that in the name. So you cannot use something like Bob's Accounting if you're incorporated. You have to use Bob's Accounting Inc. or Corporation. Surnames are restricted under federal or Ontario laws, so we have to always keep an eye on that. You cannot imply association with Crown or government, and you cannot use someone else's name, like a personal name, unless that individual has a material interest in the business. So you cannot call your bar Gretzky Bar unless Gretzky is actually an owner in that bar. Now let's talk about business location. There are typically 3 ways to run a business. You can operate it from home, you can operate it from an office or industrial location or warehouse location, or you can operate a virtual business online. It really depends on what you're going to do, what you're going to sell, and what kind of service you're going to provide. Of course, home-based business is very easy to set up. You don't have to spend any money, but of course there are some disadvantages. With office, industrial, warehouse, or commercial space, you should definitely get your real estate agent involved, get your lawyer and accountant involved. Lots of costs, lots of investment, but if your business is big, you have no choice. Now, virtual is my favorite type of business. If you have a product or service that you can sell online, download, ship training materials, tutorials, courses, seminars, you can make a lot of money. People can buy anytime, anywhere, across the entire world, and they can do it 24/7. And more convenience means definitely more sales. Now, structures for carrying on business. This topic on its own can take a couple of hours. We have to move quickly, so let's go to it. 3 main types of business registrations or business structures: sole proprietorship, partnership, and corporation. Let's look at them in more detail. Now, as a sole proprietor, it's very simple. You're on your own. You are the owner. You are the one responsible. You are the one working there. Although you can have other employees, you are the boss. There are certain advantages, of course: a low startup cost, very easy to set up, not that many regulations, and minimal paperwork. Now, disadvantages are very serious. There is lack of continuity. Business will end as soon as the proprietor leaves or dies. Limited investment opportunities. How many real investors would want to give you money without being able to get some equity in return? Very few. Unlimited risk. Everything you own will be exposed to risk when you're a sole proprietor. Whether it's a loan, equipment, financing, or a liability like a legal liability or a claim, They will go after everything you have. There is no choice. And of course, there are limited tax planning opportunities because this particular structure is not designed for extensive planning for taxes. Now let's look at partnership. Advantages are very similar. Easy to create, low cost, limited outside regulations. You must register the partnership, and you always have to prepare a partnership agreement. Yes, it costs money, but you will be thankful that you have one in case you ever run into problems with your partner. Disadvantages. Well, you have even more because now you're responsible for your partner's actions and debts. Keep an eye on your partner because there are many cases where you can lose everything because of something the partner did. Death and retirement. The partnership will have to be closed if one of the partners leaves the partnership. So there's limited continuity. Just the same, it's difficult to raise capital because people can't take ownership in your business. And same, limited tax planning opportunities. The next one, corporation. Well, although we always suggest the corporation, you have to really consider if you have a tiny hobby-type business or a real business. If you have a hobby and you're going to be making $5,000 to $10,000 a year, corporation may not be worth it. But if you have a business where you're going to be active, you're going to have clients, you're going to accept credit cards, you're going to have a real business, then corporation definitely provides a lot of advantages. Number one is the limited liability. Whatever you have in a corporation, that's the extent of liability you have, unless of course you sign up as a guarantor on a loan or any kind of debt. You can much easier raise capital with equity investors because they can take a portion of your ownership as a guarantee. Very low tax rates up to $500,000 in profit, and there are plenty of income splitting and tax deferral opportunities. You can definitely save money if you make a lot of profit in a corporation. Now, ownership is transferable. You can sell it. You can do whatever you want. You can transfer it to anyone at any time by filling out a couple of forms. The perpetual existence means as long as the company is not dissolved, the corporation will continue forever. Just file your tax returns and do what's required under government regulations. You can also have multiple trade names under a corporation. For each product, service, or each division, it may have its own trade name to facilitate marketing efforts and create and build brand awareness. Now, of course, there are some disadvantages. It is closely regulated, so you have to make sure you know what you're doing. It's more expensive to organize because you have to fill out certain documents, pay government fees, and file your applications, and there is more record keeping, financial statements, and tax returns. But all of it is really negligible in comparison to potential benefits you can get when you incorporate your business. Okay, trade names. As I mentioned before, you can have multiple trade names for a corporation, and you must register a trade name if you're using any name other than the corporate name in association with your business. There are some benefits. You have a better name for marketing, you can have a separate name for services and products, and brand building ability. There is no limit to trade names, and trade names are not protected, so pretty much anyone can register a similar trade name unless you protect it with a trademark, and we're going to talk about trademarks in a second. Also, you must use the trade name together with the corporate name on all of your legal documents and contracts. That's very important. Now, just for a second, I'm going to talk about shelf corporations. They don't really apply to most people, but if you're planning to do a business that requires history, and the only way really is to either wait for a couple of years to build that history, or buy a shelf corporation that was specifically registered for the purpose of aging. Now, all of our shelf corporations have clean history. They are in good standing. They have no liabilities or defaults. Age is really required when you are dealing with governments. I think it's minimum of 3 years if you want to work with the government. Certain marketing arrangements and agreements, certain credit issues, certain things are much easier when you can say that your company is 3, 4, 5, 10 years old, and we do have a certain range of companies up to 10 years old. Of course, there's credibility. How long have you been in business? Well, I've been in business for 5 years, and that's true. The company has been in existence for 5 years. You have to be careful how to use it because you have to maintain ethical approach, but there are lots of benefits when you need them. Now it's time to register your business, and let's talk about the certain steps that you have to take. We always recommend a name search. Whether it's a preliminary name search or a full nuance search, it will let you see who else is using the name that you are proposing. Next is to actually file the registration documents, whether it's a sole proprietorship, partnership, or corporation. Get your government accounts, HST, Payroll, Import-Export, WSIB. If you are serious about your business and you have something to protect, make sure you're going to use trademarks and copyrights to protect intellectual property. And of course, get the domain name and website designed. Even if it's a single page, you must have presence online. Every single client would use a mobile phone or a computer or a laptop to check you out. You must have that single page, or of course multiple page website. Okay, so let's look at nuance. Now, the first step is really a preliminary search. It's very cheap. It's easy. You can check 3 names for about $15. That's the research stage. The nuanced preliminary search will give you exact match, meaning that whatever you specified in the search criteria, that's what you're going to get back. Now, the nuanced report, it's more expensive. It's about $40, but it gives you a comprehensive 7-page report that lists business, corporate names, or trademarks that are phonetically similar to what you're searching for. That's a very good thing, because if you have a similarity with someone else's name, you may still get in trouble. Also, nuanced search is mandatory when you're registering a corporation. Now it's time to register your business. So with a sole proprietorship or partnership, fill out a simple application and you're done. This type of business must be renewed every 5 years and no one sends you reminder notices. So you have to keep track because if your business expires, you operate illegally. Corporation. Register once, get perpetual existence. Pretty much the same thing, just a bit more information required on the application form. You can easily file your application online or get some help over the telephone with one of our business advisors. And of course, if you're in Toronto, you're welcome to stop by for personal help. Now, HST account. HST account is really a goods and services tax or harmonized sales tax account. This account is mandatory if you're making more than $30,000 in annual sales or technically in the last 4 quarters. Now, one thing you can do, even if you're making less than $30,000, you could still register, and this way your company would look bigger to any supplier or any customer because everyone knows if you're not registered by GST HST, you're making less than $30,000 and you're just a small company. So it's always for your benefit to register. Also, if you're registered for GST HST, you can claim input tax credit on every single item that you buy for your business that includes GST or HST. You can deduct that and reduce your expenses. Now, you must register, collect, and remit the tax if you made more than $30,000 in the last 4 quarters. And the process is simple. You charge clients the tax, you deduct whatever tax you paid on your expenses, and you remit the difference to the government. But here's the thing. If in the first year of business or second year of business, your expenses are more than your sales, you'll actually get a refund from the government for the tax that you spent. And that's quite a lot of money if you have a lot of expenses. Payroll account. You must have a payroll account if you have employees or if you have a corporation and want to pay yourself. You have to submit source deductions like income tax, Canada Pension Plan, employment insurance, pretty much every month. And of course, you have to calculate and provide payroll slips to your employees. Now those deductions consist of both employer and employee portion, and only employees have to pay into employment insurance. So if you have a corporation and you're a shareholder, you don't need to pay the employment insurance portion. Import-export account. Straightforward. If you're planning to import-export goods, it's always a good idea to get this account, so you will be able to eliminate the delays at the border. Customs Canada always uses this number for documentation. Next, workplace safety and insurance. WSIB. No one likes to pay this one, but it's mandatory. It insures your employees, and it could be a fairly high expense, especially in construction or any business where there is a risk involved. But you gotta do it. There is no choice. The tax rate is anywhere between 1 to 15%. Sometimes it could be higher depending on your industry and risk, and you must register within 10 days of hiring your first full or part-time worker. In the past, people used to say, well, I don't have employees. I have contractors. Or they try to work around this. Now, the rules have changed, and WSIB is really going after pretty much every single business to make sure that they comply. Don't cheat on this one. They will catch you. It's simple as that. Just go ahead, pay the price, but be safe and reap the benefits from this particular account. Now to summarize, incorporating definitely has many advantages. Many people miss on them, of course, but the cost and your business activities would kind of govern whether you want to incorporate or not. If you have any questions, always contact us. We will give you some guidance. Make sure that you register a proper business name, set up all the tax accounts, and believe me, when that process is done, it's really well worth the money to get some help with it. Now, protecting intellectual property. A lot of people try to skip this one, and others really go full speed ahead and they protect everything. So it's really up to you. But if you're concerned that someone is going to steal your name, logo, slogan, business name, anything like that, you better go ahead and register it. It's as simple as that. Now, 3 types of intellectual property: trademarks, copyrights, and patents. A trademark search would help you identify if similar trademarks exist, and you can easily do that. There are more comprehensive searches available that take a bit longer. They're more expensive, but they do provide more information. Now, once trademark is registered, it's valid for 15 years, and you can trademark a business name, product names, Logo. You can use TM for an unregistered trademark and R for a registered trademark just to identify that that's intellectual property that is being protected. Copyright registration. Well, basically, copyright prohibits someone else from copying your work without permission. Original works like books, plays, songs, painting, manuals, instructions are good candidates for the copyright registration. There are a couple of good reasons to register for a copyright. Number 1, there would be a public record created showing that you are the owner. This certificate becomes the evidence you need to prove your ownership, and you can license your work and charge fees if that's the case with your particular original work. And really, protection is the ultimate reason for registering copyright. Our specialist is always available to review your application, offer suggestions, and improve some coverage, prepare all the people who can file it on your behalf. So if you have any questions, feel free to contact us. Patents. We don't really deal with patents directly, but if you have a product or a process that's very unique, you can always apply for a patent, and then if it's approved, you get 20 years of protection. Now, of course, you have to describe your product or service so every Canadian can benefit from it. Patent Office typically runs the process for about 2 years, and once your patent is registered, people would not be able to use or sell your invention without your permission. Now, it does cost a lot of money to file for a patent, unless you really want to do it on your own. Fees range from $5,000 to $15,000 depending on complexity, but if that invention is really important to you, you have to consider spending the money. We can always refer you to a patent agent if you're so interested. Here are a couple of examples of patents. Telephone was invented by Bell, and hey, we're still using that telephone today. Medication, different gadgets, tools, and so on, all of them can qualify for patents. Now, summary. You have to really consider what intellectual property do you have. What is the value of protecting your intellectual property? Would your business really suffer if someone takes it away from you? And what are the risks of failing to protect it? Very important for you to decide on your own. And again, if you have questions, feel free to contact us. All right, getting your business online. You know what? I'm a strong believer of getting a business online. Our entire business is online, and we're getting clients from across Canada every single day. So that's the testimonial for the power of the internet. Steps are straightforward. Just simply register a domain name. Have your website designed. You can do it on your own, or we can help you with that. Get a website hosting account. We'll do that for you. And then, of course, you can optimize your site so Google, Yahoo, and Bing can find you. There are multiple steps, and depending on how far do you want to go, you can really do a lot of things online. But you know what? Start with at least a single page. It's definitely worth the effort and the money to be accessible by your clients 24/7 from anywhere. Number 1 thing is, please do not procrastinate. If you're planning to start your business, just get it done now. Get started now. This presentation was a short introduction. If you'd like to know more about this or other topics, feel free to contact the organizer of this presentation and we'll get that information prepared for you. If you have any questions or if you need assistance with registering your business or trademark or getting your business online, please use the information you see on the screen to get in touch with us. We provide guidance via email, telephone, or in person, and we'll be happy to assist you.